Coming up on this week's edition of Thunder Insider, the Thunder made their home debut, and so did Russell Westbrook. We'll discuss Russell's return and what we saw from the team in Week 1. We'll take a look at how the young guys on the team are getting some valuable playing time early in the season.
The minutes are good. They've worked hard. They've earned it. Just getting out there, getting experience, and having the feeling that your teammates and your coach trust you.
And we'll introduce you to Sarah in this week's Thunder Girl Spotlight.
I've always been such a hand on stage and just enjoyed it and soaked up the audience and showed so much personality on stage.
It's all coming your way starting right now on Thunder Insider. Welcome to another edition of Thunder Insider. I'm Leslie McCaslin, joined by Brian Davis and Grant Long. Well, of course, guys, the Thunder made their home debut this week at Chesapeake Arena in front of another packed house, and of course, so did Russell Westbrook. You could tell the crowd was excited, his teammates were excited, and namely, Russell was just so ready to get back out on the floor. He really progressed quickly, was cleared by the team. Grant, let's start with you. What did you see from Russell in his first game back?
Well, I think, first of all, you have to understand that when you put Russell Westbrook on the floor, we're talking about one of the top 5 players in the NBA. So right away, the opponent's defense has to game plan for him now. You've got another set of eyes that needs a primary defender to defend him. That's going to loosen up the offense for other guys on the team to have success.
Well, and the thing that you look at maybe just by measurement is that the first couple of games without Russ, the Thunder totaled 24 assists. Well, against Phoenix, 20 assists. Against Dallas, 28 assists. When Russell is on the floor, as Grant says, it opens up so many other things. The ball swings more freely. The defense is thrown into more chaos in more situations. And I'll tell you something. Russell, when he gets that Popeye the Sailor scowl going, it's hard sometimes to realize, and maybe fans don't see it, we don't see it on the floor. But the fact of the matter is that, well, I saw Russell coming out of the locker room, getting ready for that first game against Phoenix. And he was literally, first guy out of the room, he's skipping down the hall with the biggest smile on his face. He has so much joy playing the game, and I think he spreads that joy to his teammates.
I absolutely agree. I think this team gained some confidence, too, because they're so comfortable playing with each other. They know how this lineup goes. They know how this works with Russell in there. And already we've seen in a couple of games that confidence grow and then progress. Here's more on Russell's return to the court this week.
6'3" from UCLA, number 0, Russell Westbrook.
First, I want to thank all the fans and all my family and friends, and maybe some of you guys for your support throughout this period. It's been a tough one, but I'm happy to be back.
Westbrook dashes by Bledsoe down the lane. He darts, swoops, and scores with the left hand. A dazzling deuce by Westbrook.
The guy plays the game like it's supposed to be played. It's not always going to be perfect, but he plays with everything he has every single night. And to me, that's inspiring.
Russell pushing up the middle. Dancing right, lays it up and in as he swerves away from Bledsoe. End-to-end Russell Westbrook. Turbo Russ is back.
It was just good for him to be back. I know how much he loves the game, and the crowd was great, man. It was unbelievable. Classy group of fans that just, was always behind him and accepted him so well tonight. It was cool to see.
Excited. After being off the floor for 7 to 8 months, I'm very excited to be back on the floor and hopefully we can get a win.
And they rise as one at Chesapeake as Westbrook applauds. The crowd's on its feet, returning the favor. Russell Westbrook is back, and the Thunder are en route to a home opening victory, their second win of the season.
Well, because Russell has returned now, Coach Brooks has a good problem on his hands. He has a lot of talented guards, not just Reggie Jackson, but also Derek Fisher. And in fact, Brian, we saw him play them all out there at the same time. Of course, Reggie got a little banged up in that last game against Dallas. But is this something that you expect to see, and Jeremy Lamb, a lot of guard play together?
I think that there are a lot of games where the Thunder will have the opportunity, Leslie, to go small. And now I think we're seeing the number of weapons that Scott Brooks has at his disposal. Jackson has had games where he's shot well. The one thing that's been consistent with Reggie is that he's defended well, and I think that he's played very efficient basketball in terms of distributing. Derek Fisher is playing at a very, I'll go back to that word, Grant, he's playing at a very efficient level, and then when you throw the resurgent Jeremy Lamb in there, and you just go on down the list, and the Thunder is getting something out of everybody.
Well, I think the key word is versatility. When you put that lineup on the floor, you've got 3 decision makers with the basketball. You also have a group of guys on the floor, 5 guys that anybody can take the ball off the glass and initiate the fast break. So it's all about changing the tempo, the pace of the game when Scott Brooks goes with that lineup. He wants more up-tempo, he wants a faster pace, and again, better decision makers at every position on the floor. So you're able to get something out of that. One of the three things that I always say when you're running a fast break or when you're running your offense, you've got to get a good shot, a foul, or a basket. When you have that group on the floor, you're almost guaranteed to get one of those things.
And I think that really, in the end, when the team does what the coaching staff asks, which is to play at a very fast pace and trigger the offense with defense, everybody on the floor, guards and everybody else, becomes that much better.
But Coach Brooks isn't just tinkering with the guard play. I mean, it's really all of the lineups, different rotations. Do you remember him doing this in the past, Grant, really just kind of doing this for the first few games and seeing what groupings he likes?
Well, in the first 30 days of the preseason, we saw him tamper with the lineup, trying to find a group of guys and see what kind of production they would yield. And I think he's still in that mode because, remember, as they always say, this isn't the team that they're going to be come April. So you have to go through a process of finding out just what you have, what guys work well together, what they produce, and he's still working with those things. And I think for the first month, maybe even a month and a half, that he's still going to be trying to figure out who gives him what and what positions.
Yeah, November, December, January, February, we have a little ways to go. Thanks, guys.
Ahead on Thunder Insider.
I never use that as an excuse. They're players. They're Thunder players. They've all put their name in the draft. They all of a sudden become men from being a young man.